All right. What is up, guys? Gonna see what I can do about going live these days, trying to do, maybe some pre-market live streams or some market open live streams. So just kind of testing this out right now. We've got the ES futures right here, S&P 500 futures right here on our left. Then we've got the NQ NASDAQ futures right here on our right. If we zoom down to a smaller time frame, such as the 5 minute, we'll basically be able to see, we had inflation data come out here at 8:30 that initially dropped the market, but buyers seem to step in around the VWAP on the S&P futures. We can take a look at the NASDAQ futures as well and do the same thing. All right, and we can see right around here at 8:30, buyers ended up stepping in, all right, after the initial drop. We had a hot PPI report that came in today. We also have Fed minutes today. So, you need to be cautious of that. You need to be, just aware of a lot of the catalysts we have. We can see, things are looking good right now in the market. We're getting an initial push up in the market right now. ES, if it really wants to continue rallying, it's very possible we could come up to this 44.30 level. That's something I'll be looking to monitor. Now, when it comes to trading ideas, really, I mostly just try to keep things simple these days and focus on the opening range. Basically, this is the first minute of our first candle of our opening range. I like to go down to a 5 minute chart and wait until we have a little bit of structure established. So I want to see us, put in 3 5 minute charts. Then you want to chart the high, chart the low, and then, you can look to play the opening range high or the opening range low on a break and retest or on a simple breakout. So we'll come back to these and take a look at those in a second. We'll go over to TradingView real quick, and these are some of the stocks I've been paying attention to right now. We'll, start off here with EQT. Okay, you can see EQT had a nice breakout from its falling wedge, and it's pushing up higher. We're starting to get a pullback, and then we bounced. It'll be really interesting. EQT, basically, if it can get above this $44 to about $45 price range, it's got a pretty good chance of potentially testing, 50 to this 52 area. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll go down to a daily here and take a look at, these are some of the plays that I'm in right now. Okay. And of course, this is not meant to be financial advice or anything, near that. This is just, a live stream. And again, I'm trying to test this out here, see about doing some more of these live streams, get a little bit better at it. So just work with me. Okay. Now, this is CCL. Carnival recently reported earnings, and the CEO was pretty bullish. This is one that I've been looking at because energy prices have been skyrocketing. Okay, so energy prices essentially have just been going up and up, and what we've seen is stocks like CCL, stocks like airlines, they've been affected pretty hard by this, and that shouldn't be too much of a surprise, especially after, that spike in energy prices. But overall, I'm tracking essentially a 5-wave structure right here. Okay. And, we've got, wave 1 right here, wave 2, then we hit our wave 3 highs, and we're in the wave 4 pullback right now, and we're doing a good job. This blue line is our 200 moving average right here. So we're going to see if we can maintain the 200-day moving average. All right, that'll be nice to see. If not, we've got 1215 is really basically my line in the sand. And if we end up closing below 1215 and staying below there for a few days or maybe even a week or two, then maybe I'll look at getting out of this position. But in my opinion, I do think that we're going to have an end of year rally. And so now it's a good time to establish some of the positions that you want to get into. And, you don't have to go all in right now during times of uncertainty. There's lots of stuff going on with Israel. But you can look to see if we will be able to get that end of year rally. And if that happens for CCL, for Carnival, I think it's very possible it can come up to around the $19 price area, even potentially up to as high as 21.67. We'll just have to see how that plays out, right? We don't know exactly for sure, but that's kind of where I'm targeting, what I'm looking at. Another one that I like right now, okay, now I only have one contract in this, but it's CSX. Now, this is pretty nice. This one is gapping up right here. Would love to see some strong momentum, some strong movement here, but we had a very nice inverse head and shoulders. Okay, we had the left shoulder, we had the head, we had the right shoulder here. I put this one out in the newsletter. So if you guys aren't subscribed to the newsletter, okay, it's called Investment Intelligence. And it's in the description for most of my videos. I don't even know if I have a description or title up for this live stream, but definitely check that out. It's on my channel. And this was one that I was speaking of. You can see here, our neckline almost is the 200-day moving average. And we did a good job today of gapping up. So, our daily RSI still has plenty of room to go. All right, we're over here. What level are we at on the RSI? Around 61. So we're above 50, plenty of room to go up before we're overbought. Would love to see CSX continue to go up and potentially even fill this gap up here at 3270. That would be a nice play to see. Another one that I'm in right now is AGL. Okay, now AGL, I was charting this on a weekly time frame. And initially I got in on the initial break of this trend line here. And I had some call options, but I sold those very quickly for 20%, basically on the first day or a day after I got into those, just because things were looking uncertain in the market overall. And that ended up being a good decision. It started to pull back, but we got a very clean break and retest, right? When you talk about structure and things like that, this is very healthy, right? We got the breakout, retest, and now we're pushing up higher. The big question is, basically, are we going to be able to essentially break out, right? We've got this strong resistance level right around 1924. We've basically been trading below there, haven't even been able to come up to it. That's going to be our 23.6% retracement level. These three right here, the 61.8, the 50, and the 38.2, those are your three most common and well-respected fib retracement levels. So I would like to see us, at least get a 38.2% retracement and break out above 1924. But we're going to need some more momentum in this stock at the moment. We did get a weekly MACD crossover on the initial breakout here too. And then, we got that retest and push higher. So we really want to see momentum continue. We want to see that RSI here get above 50. Show a little bit of strength on the weekly time frame. If we zoom back down to the daily, things don't look too bad on the daily here, right? You can see lots of resistance up in this area here as we get closer to that 1924. And ultimately, we need to push out past yesterday's highs, which are going to be around $19 essentially. And if we can get above 1924, and then our 200-day moving average is going to be just below the 38.2 retracement level. If this continues to go in an upward fashion, this may actually cause the 200-day moving average to slightly creep up a little bit. Okay, and if this starts to creep up, it could end up coinciding with that 2119, and then so that will be a lot of resistance at that area if we have the 200-day moving average and 2119. If the stock continues to trade flat, this will flatten out here. This could decline a little bit. What's another one? NU. Okay, NU. I've dropped a YouTube video on this one before in the past. Look at the beautiful gap up today. Love to see this. NU is a potential gamma squeeze play. Okay. Last time I looked at it, there was an insane amount of call option volume, right around that $8 and $9 strike price. And so a gamma squeeze is essentially when market makers are forced to basically buy the underlying security, if those options become in the money. And so the closer that this stock gets to $8, the closer the chance of a gamma squeeze is. Now, there is a little bit of a time frame on those gamma squeezes, and you do need to be wary of that essentially it needs to hold up during that time frame. And if it extends past those option contract expirations, then the whole gamma squeeze is kind of pretty much over. Now, if we take a look here, we've got a nice bullish channel that it's been trading in. And to me, we basically finished the correction here. This is our correction down, and we're starting a 5-wave structure to the upside. And if we do end up getting that gamma squeeze around that $8 price level, okay, some of the price levels to the upside for wave 5 are going to be 877, 947, potentially even 1036. Okay, now that's if we get some pretty crazy type of gamma squeeze, but also this is a little bit of a longer term play. This was also a trade that I put in the newsletter a while ago. So the newsletter is really nice, guys. It's free. It's completely free. There's really good valuable content in there. Let me see what I can do real quick. I'll go ahead and pull it up. just so you guys can see what it is. Okay, so it's called investment intelligence. I just sent one out this morning, basically talking about what's going on with Israel and Hamas and Palestine and all of that. And there is a website associated with it. So you can go to the website and you'll be able to come in here and basically go and scroll through all of the previous articles that I've written. This was talking about NU over a month ago. We talked about the chart setup. As you can see, we had that same bullish structure that we were looking at. We did a really good job of holding the 38.2 retracement here. That was very nice to see. And we talked about the potential gamma squeeze here and, kind of described what a gamma squeeze is for you guys with, basically a significant amount of open interest at the $8 and $9 strike prices set to expire in October and January. So here we are now in October. And if this stock can, get above that $8 strike price early in October, which we're very close to doing, then we've got a good chance of getting a gamma squeeze potentially on those. And that could help drive the stock up to the $9 strike price, which would further cause an even greater gamma squeeze and potentially send it even higher. Now, there's a lot of ifs in that. So, you do have to be mindful of all of that. But, you can see that, basically here is where we were talking about it in the newsletter. All right. And it basically put in a double bottom here. And you could say that this is breaking the double bottom neckline. Okay. So if we were to just simply come in here and let's just use this, right, and just draw a neckline. You can see we actually gapped up above the neckline here today, getting a very strong push, up 3% on the day. So those call options are looking pretty good right now. Let's see now. What are some other plays? TTD. I'm not in TTD. TTD is looking very nice though. This is one that I've been mentioning in the Discord for a little bit. We basically are having, a very strong uptrend here, right? We've got a very strong uptrend since the beginning of the year. We came down and recently tested that in September. Lots of bearish seasonality in September, but overall, this looks like a VCP pattern as well, volatility contraction pattern. We're breaking out above this trend line here. And so for me, what I would look for is going to be a textbook, break and retest, right? So I'm not going to try to force an entry here. If we can get a retest and bounce off of a retest, then that offers a, much better, trade setup, in my opinion, and a little bit more of a textbook setup. So just monitoring this one for now. Let's go ahead and check back on our Thinkorswim. We're about to get that opening range is about to close. So we'll go ahead and check on that, see what it's looking like over there. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to come here, right? We're going to chart our opening range. I'd like to make this one a solid line here. Okay, we'll do that real quick. All right, and for ES, so ES is looking weaker than the NASDAQ at the moment. So there's two ways to play this. Okay, so if we go bullish, ES could be the one that you want to play. Okay, because it's got more room to catch up to the upside. All right. And if we go bearish, NASDAQ could be the one that you want to play. Okay, because it was showing more strength. And if the ES continues to break down and make new lows, and the NASDAQ has to catch up, there's potentially going to be more room to the downside. So this is our opening range high right here. And at the moment, this is our opening range low, basically the opening candle for both of those. Okay, we'll come here, chart in our opening range low here as well. All right, and I like to do this, and pretty much, the main thing that I like to focus on is trading NASDAQ, trading the S&P 500, and just scalping, right? That's really much more of my bread and butter. As you come in here, you scalp using oftentimes a 5-minute or 15-minute chart is what I like to look at. I'll come in there and, be done with the trade in a very relatively short amount of time, and then you can be done with the day, right? This opening range, trade strategy is pretty nice because most of the time by noon, you're done by the day. And of course, that's noon Eastern, of course, just depending on what time frame you guys are on. And I like to look at, the NASDAQ futures, the S&P futures. I also like to look at Tesla. Okay, so let's take a look at Tesla, and let's also take a look at NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA are, the two these are basically like your highest beta stocks. So if you trade options, these are going to be really nice option, contracts to trade, very volatile. These two stocks tend to move very quickly. So, you can get some nice scalping in basically on these two. So Nvidia is still trading within range, not really close to its opening range high or low. We come here, we take a look at Tesla, we have our opening range low right here, opening range high right here. So we're seeing a little bit of indecision in the market with a slight bullish sentiment, right? Things are up here currently at the moment. We're going to have to monitor to see if that stays consistent. So your opening range high for Tesla is 268.59. You can look for a break and retest of that. You can try to scalp the initial breakout. The opening range low is going to be 266.05. Right. Again, you can look for a breakdown and enter on the breakdown, or you can look for a break and retest of that. For Nvidia, it's going to be 465.55. If you break above there, you can look to scalp some call options to the upside, or you can wait for a break and retest. And the opening range low is going to be 461.11. Okay, you can again look for the breakdown below, look for the break and retest. For ES, let's give you guys the levels in case you can't see it. All right, so for ES, it's basically just stuck, right here at this 4406 level too, which is a key level for me. We're looking to see, basically if we can trade above or below this. The opening range high is 44.10, 51, and then the opening range low is 44.02, 42. For the NASDAQ, our opening range is going to be, let's see here, 1538.25, and then 15,322.91. So those are going to be some of the key levels that you'll want to watch and monitor and maintain. Let's go ahead and look at some other charts real quick. Let me hop into the Discord to see, what are, try to remember some of the other plays that I've been looking at. McDonald's, guys, McDonald's is crazy. Okay, let me show you guys the McDonald's chart. Now, McDonald's is very interesting. If you're someone that really thinks that there's a recession coming, you think that there's a big bear market coming, McDonald's is the type of stock where, you take a look at the performance in 2022, right? This is January of 2022. It initially had that sell-off, but you can see that it ended up ending the year up on the year. So while many stocks, in the stock market were down brutally through in 2022, heading into 2023, McDonald's was a stock that actually performed pretty well and held up pretty well. Some might say it's recession proof. The reason being is that pretty much in a strong economy or a weak economy, whether people are trying to save money or whether they have money, most people are going to eat McDonald's. Now, when you look at that trend line, right, look at what we're doing right now. We're getting a break and retest. So this is a very critical moment for McDonald's. Was this a look below and fail, and we're going to enter back within the range, start trading above this channel? That's going to be a bullish signal. Okay, but if that's not the case, and this was, a breakdown and retest, we're going to push lower, then we need to be very careful, okay? Because McDonald's really could try to fall off a cliff. Now, it's very oversold on the daily time frame, and even when we zoom back out to the weekly time frame, you can also see that it's very oversold on the weekly time frame here as well. We'll take a look, and you can see the levels that we hit. We haven't been that oversold since the pandemic. Okay, that was basically the last time that McDonald's was this oversold, and that's what initially brought it on my watch list. Is the amount of oversold that it is. Now, it's doing a really good job of holding the 764 retracement right here at 246.84. That's going to be a level we're going to want to monitor and maintain, and basically see how it performs. Let's look at some natural gas futures real quick. Natural gas has been a big topic right now. I did just drop a very nice video on it yesterday. And if we were to take a look, I was mentioning how how, in my opinion, we should be getting some type of a pullback, all right, and the key levels that we want to look and maintain for, essentially looking for a pullback to go higher. I do think it's very possible that natural gas ends up testing the $3.50 to $4 price level, but ultimately it's a matter of, can it actually maintain above $3, right? We just got above $3 here recently. And if this is going to be a false breakout, then that's going to be a little bit more of a bearish signal. Now, this is our bullish count right here. We had this triangle pattern, this rising triangle, or ascending triangle, and we got the nice breakout here. A textbook would be a breakout, retest, and push higher. I'm not really looking, and basically the retest of this is right at that $3 mark. So again, I'm not really looking for us to break below $3. If we, once we got above $3, a lot of buyers stepped into the area, and that's going to be a really key critical area to hold, right? If it goes below $3, then a lot of those buyers who stepped in at that $3 threshold are going to be in the water or underwater, and that could potentially cause some selling there. We'll take a look at the NYMEX futures, okay, because that was the one I charted for you guys in the natural gas video yesterday. And we were taking a look at the 4-hour chart, and we'll go back to that 4-hour chart and just kind of give you guys a breakdown here. So you can see we broke through this key level here that we were holding above. And I was basically mentioning your MACD. Okay, we'll go back down to the 4-hour chart. And so this is, essentially what we're kind of cautioning of and warning of. So you see how we have this crossover here on our 4-hour chart after being overbought. All right, the past few times that we've gotten it here, back in August, you can see we had a pretty significant pullback. All right, back down to a key level here. Same thing over here, overbought, and then we got a bearish MACD crossover. We had a pretty significant pullback. All right, we're overbought here again after breaking out of the initial bearish divergence and breaking out of our megaphone pattern. And you can see we're getting that pullback now. So a lot of this makes a lot of sense. Okay, from a technical perspective, there's nothing wrong with this pullback right here in natural gas. I also mentioned how, essentially this is no man's land. Okay, so this area here, these black areas, these are no man's land, right? You don't want to enter trades into no man's land. Like if you're trying to go long here, it's very easy to get trapped on the move to the upside if we come back down into a key area. Now, when I talk about these key areas, the reason this is red is because this has been a very large supply zone, a very strong supply zone that we have not been able to break out for the entire year of 2023. We've tested this level many times, and tested this zone. So now that we've broken out of it, for this to turn green, we'd look for a breakout retest of this demand zone. I'm not sure why my trading view is saying this right now. But yeah, so we'd look for a breakout retest of this demand zone, okay, and ultimately a push higher for wave 5, which would be a pretty significant move for the natural gas futures, and that would take natural gas up to that $3.50 to $4 region. Now, when we go to some specific levels here, okay, take a look at some things. The futures contracts did roll over here recently, and there's a big gap down, right? So I'll go ahead and chart that gap up for you guys if you're not familiar with gaps. But essentially, what it is that we're looking at is from right here to right here. This is a gap. Now, what's really key about this gap is that, even if we were to pull all the way back to fill this gap right here, there's lots of support and lots of healthy retracement territory in these levels, right? Anywhere from our 50% to our 76.4% retracement level. Those are all going to be key support levels here for natural gas in this, what appears to be wave 4, right? We're getting our wave 4 pullback now. And so the gap can fill, and it's still not a worst case scenario. That would actually put us at the bottom of our prior supply zone, where we'd be looking for it to turn to demand to potentially rise higher. Our 61.8% retracement level is right there at the top of the gap. Oftentimes gaps can act as areas of support and resistance. So, if we come back down and try to test the gap, but we can't find a gap fill, that's going to be really interesting because it's also right there at that 61.8% retracement level. So I think that'll go ahead and wrap up the video here for today. Just trying to test out some live streaming. I'm gonna get a little bit better at it, figure it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like